What's up, YouTube? Welcome to Brian's Random Thoughts. I just got started. I'm already screwing up. Holy cow. So I do want to start off by saying hello to everyone. Today, I am going to be taking a look at a last couple of days. Video came out by Russell Brand, one of my favorites. Got on the Russell Brand train, as it were. Wow, that was really a bad analogy. Anyway, he put out a documentary many years ago when he got sober, and it was about the financial market across the world. And that's really he earned my respect with that. It's a great piece of work. I really probably should have looked that up before I referenced it. But the video we're going to be watching today, and I will be watching this for the very first time with you. And there's the title, so you can read that for yourself. Anywho, as this is Russell Brand, this will not be kid friendly, as the title clearly lets you know. So, but anywho, we're going to go ahead and jump over to this. This should be commercial free and should run very smoothly, hopefully. So, let's see. And if anything's weird on the playback, please let me know in the chat. All right, here we go.
As it's revealed that Joe Biden is running on instructions that should be for a baby robot and Nancy Pelosi can't get through a conversation without elbowing a nipper in the ribs, we ask, how can a Democrat Party get out of bed in the morning, let alone run a country? Hello there, you 5.7 million awakening wonders. Thank you for joining us on this channel where we aim to give you the truth that the mainstream media simply won't offer you, where we critique big business, where we tell you that the state corporate alliance is what's bringing about democratic stagnation, that we won't get no freedom till we come up with new institutional systems, and we do this whole thing with a smile. Turn on the notification bell right now because we make videos every single day and we need you to watch every single one of them. We got to remain in symbiotic osmosis, retaining connection and conversation, because otherwise how are we going to construct new utopias together? I don't know, it won't be possible. And someone's got to step in, because you've seen the nutters that are running your country over in America.
It's President Biden's cheat sheet. He literally tipped his hand, showing a card with step-by-step instructions.
Oh, I actually starting to feel a bit bad for Joe Biden, aren't you?
The phrase that I found noticeable was, there's a difference between states that say may and say shall.
Sorry, where are we going with this, darling?
If you have to say you shall give, you shall do A, B, C, they're the ones that are going to have problems, but most say may.
The difference between states that say may and shall, an interesting grammatical modal verb distinction there. Dear old Joe sort of looking at it like a tiny menu in a little mini Denny's.
I mean, may and I got it reversed, may and shall.
Oh, if I met him in the street, you'd put a blanket around him, wouldn't you? That's the first thing you do. Go, never mind all this may shall stuff. Here's a blanket. Come with me. I'm not being ageist. There's great wisdom in aged folk, and that we should certainly respect our elders. Ancestor worship is deep in our kind, in our species. But clearly this is a person that is being put before us not as an executor, but as a kind of instrument of real power, as has been made clear by him operating off of a little cheat sheet that I wouldn't give to R2D2's babies.
It follows last weekend's incident when the 79-year-old president fell off his bike.
As a human being, we must be compassionate. As a symbol of all that is wrong with American politics, we must be observant.
The detailed instructions were written for Biden for a meeting with wind industry executives. He accidentally exposed it when he flipped it over to look at notes on the back of the card.
Joe Biden accidentally flashed a cheat sheet prepared by his staff that included specific directions for him stating, "You take your seat." Okay, so I'm going to take a seat. Whose seat do I take? No, Joe, don't take his seat. No, put the chair down, Joe. Oh, this fucking guy. You take your seat. You give brief comments. Time for a brief comment now. Shall may, shall. She sells seashells on the seashore. May she may. Was that brief enough? You depart. No, I don't depart. How did I even get depart? I'm not fit for depart. Images of the 79-year-old president's notes were snapped by photographers after Mr. Biden held the sheet backward while addressing a meeting with wind industry executives on Thursday. They're giving him a cheat sheet. He can't even hold it the right fucking way round. Other side of cheat sheet, Joe. Other side of cheat. Remember though, there's always the other side of an argument of may shall may shall. Titled Offshore Wind Drop by Sequence of Events, the document tells the president to enter the Roosevelt Room and say hello to participants. If you have to give someone instruction for how to conduct basic protocols, it's probably not the best time in their life for them to be running a country where there are complex ongoing geopolitical conflicts, for example, Russia-Ukraine. Right. Say that Putin is a tyrant. Now back off a bit. Now offer lethal aid. He can't be trusted to walk in a room and say hello. And even if you give him instructions, he'll look at the back of it. What if he's doing that when he's selling missiles? Sell Russia missiles. So did you sell those missiles? Yep. To the Ukraine, right? Oh no! Enter Roosevelt Room. Say hello to participant. Hello, participant. Hello, participant. Then the paper says, you take your seat. Why does that have to be specified? So, has there been times when he's took someone else's seat, or when he's sat down on the floor, or when he's given someone else a chair? I mean, what's happened? The typed up note says that after reporters arrive, you give brief comments, 2 minutes. When reporters depart, you ask Liz Schuller, president for AFL-CIO, a question, and then you thank participants and you depart. Did he do any of those things, or did he do all that May Shao stuff for ages? Biden's use of staff notes at events has been embarrassing before, such as last July when an aide scrawled, "Sir, there is something on your chin." What's the matter? There may be something on the chin. There shall be on the chin. No, sir, it's not a metaphor. What is it then? I don't know. Peanut butter? No, don't lick it, sir. Sir! Biden also held that note so it faced reporters and photographers. Holds his note out to the world. You all have peanut butter on your chins. God bless America. Earlier in March, Mr. Biden was spotted carrying a cheat sheet containing talking points related to his comments on Russian President Vladimir Putin, a man who, by the way, goes about on horseback with a fucking gun, who fights bears, who's got a judo black belt. Even totemically, even if their power is symbolic, even if they're run by deep state structures and collaborations in the geopolitical world that are obfuscated by the veils of power, Putin, with his top off, is a better symbol than a man with peanut butter on his chin holding up a sign to a room full of reporters. He was also spotted holding a cheat sheet during his first press conference as president last year that included headshots of journalists present there who he planned to call on. What is this, a press conference, or guess who? Well, it's not clear. Oh, the ones with hats. They're all going down. It must be Richard. Is it Richard? No, sir. It's still the peanut butter on your chin. Richard, I think she's talking to you. A poll by ABC News and the Washington Post, released on the eve of Mr. Biden's State of the Union address in February, found that 54% of Americans believed he did not have the mental sharpness it takes to serve effectively as a president. What about the other 46%? The other 46% ate the survey, thinking it was some kind of flat sandwich. Mr. Biden's approval ratings are at an all-time low, according to the Yahoo News/YouGov poll that said 56% of respondents either somewhat or strongly disapproved of Mr. Biden's performance in office. And the leader of the House, Nancy Pelosi, is similarly ineffective in public. Meanwhile, a newly elected GOP congresswoman accused House Speaker Nancy Pelosi of pushing her young daughter during a photo op at a swearing-in ceremony last week. You shouldn't push people in the daughter. Republican Mayra Flores of Texas made the accusation after a video posted on social media showed her posing with Pelosi and her family at the ceremony, with conservative commentators saying the speaker elbowed Flores' daughter. No child should be pushed to the side for a photo op, period, Flores captioned a retweet of the video. Well, let's have a look. It's one way of telling for certain whether or not Pelosi pushed the child. Simply look at the evidence before your own very eyes.
Nancy Pelosi elbowed this little girl during a photo op? That's the allegation from newly elected Congresswoman Mayra Flores.
What she's done there is weakly elbowed away a little child.
Flores claims Pelosi tried to shove her young daughter out of the way during her swearing-in ceremony last week.
They're an odd, skeletal, octogenarian, clumsy bunch running the country at the moment, aren't they? A person who shows his simple notes to the people he's meant to be concealing them from, and a woman who elbows a child at a photo op. Must look like a good, responsible political leader. If I could just get this fucking child out the way!
Apparently, as she tried to beckon somebody to join the photo.
I also imagine that Nancy Pelosi's elbows are quite sharp, like her instinct in trading stocks. The footage at the centre of the controversy was recorded at the ceremonial swearing-in ceremony Pelosi hosted for Flores on Tuesday. It's a great honour to welcome Congresswoman Flores to the Capitol and to the Congress of the United States with great congratulations, said Pelosi. But her daughter can fuck off. And again, grateful for her leadership and her beautiful family who is here today. What level of consciousness are you operating on if when you're hosting an event to celebrate the achievement of a newly elected official from the opposing party in a gesture of good grace and apparent democratic solidarity, you don't have the presence of mind not to elbow a child out of the way because it's an infringement on a photo op. That's a revelation of the level that they're operating on. The presentation of reality is everything, and trumps even sort of simple rules that I picked up relatively early in life, like don't elbow children out of a photo frame. This story perfectly illustrates the problem in American contemporary politics. Everything is theatre. Everything is performance. You have a president who many people think is inept and is reading from a script of handlers. You have a Speaker of the House who can't observe simple politeness and basic protocols of not elbowing a kid in the side to make a photograph in the future look better. Politics has become theatre. It's become devoid of meaning. No wonder people are so cynical, so skeptical. No wonder hot button topics are having to be promoted to the forefront and reframed in order to get people emotional about politics again. Because I think any American from any political persuasion, from any economic or racial or gender background can see that this is a performance. Nothing real is happening here. And all of those people that felt passionately angry about Trump and passionately triumphant about his removal are now confronted with this spectacle. Political figures that have no connection to reality and operate essentially as marionettes of powerful business interests, deep state intentions, and are presented as broadly amenable by a very forgiving and compliant media. But that's just what I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to turn on your notifications. It's the only way we can be sure that you will see the videos we make every single day for you. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe right now. And if you want to know what we're doing every week, brilliant live online events, physical events.
Okay, Russell, I gave you a couple of seconds there, buddy. You can advertise on your own time. I'm just totally playing. Absolutely. I will have that video link down in the description below, as I do on all these reactions. Okay, so I'm sorry. Give me just 1 second here. Let me take a drink of water, as far as you know. Let's start from the end and work backwards. Okay, so I watched a clip from the Body Language guy, who is a YouTube channel I would also recommend, and I will try to link in the comments below as well. He does a synopsis of that move and his literal profession. His profession before he came to YouTube was to a body language analyst. There's another name for it, but that's basically what it is. But anyway, so he did a review of that, and it was she looked, saw what she did, prepared herself, even the positioning of her hand, the fact that her hand is actually a fist, all these indicators that this was clearly thought out. And what you can see is when she is motioning on, when she's looking off screen, there is someone that she wants in the picture, and she's literally going to move the person who they're all here to see, move their kids out towards the end of the shot, instead of moving them in front, which would be normal next to their parents. No, she doesn't, because she doesn't give two craps about him. This person has grandchildren, but doesn't have the presence of mind not to do that to a small child. What kind of a person is that? What kind of a person is that? And then, unfortunately, we're backing up to this, and the thing with the president and these hue cards. I do want to say that that is not completely uncommon and not completely unheard of for someone who is in a situation where there's a lot of information that might be difficult for them to remember, for them to have some kind of notation like that, not to where it tells you what you're supposed to do, that you're supposed to talk to people, and then you're supposed to sit down, and then you're supposed to get up, and then you're supposed to leave. Find it somewhere else. Find it somewhere. I hear a lot of this stuff of people running their mouth, and they're saying, oh, well, this person did it. Show it to me. Show me the picture. Show me the video. I'll be more than happy to do an entire video on it. The fact is this stuff is coming out. This is reality. The New York Post is reporting this. Almost everything that he had on this video was from the New York Post. He's quoting sources that have always been left. Russell is left. He considers himself to be the antithesis of Donald Trump. And this is because this is the reality of the matter. I can promise you that there wasn't a point when in Russell's life when he thought, what I want to do every day is I want to sit around and look at all the freaking hypocrisy and stupidity that's going on in the world. Don't you just have to accept it at one point? I mean, I have people that absolutely nearly worship Donald Trump, and I'm like, how can you not accept that this was a flawed human being? You cannot take the few decisions he made that were good in his life, which happened while he was in the White House, and then completely erase everything stupid he did or had his hand in or encouraged. You have to face reality for what reality is. You know, when your team sucks, sometimes you have to say, you know what, my team sucks. And you have to be able to identify what the problems are and what needs to change for your team not to suck anymore. You don't just blindly follow your team and support them and say everything they're doing that is clearly wrong is right because it's your team. If it's your team, it should be the best that it could be. You should want it to be the best it could be. You should want it to represent you. Are they representing you? Is this behaviors that you think are okay for the leaders of our country? I don't know. I don't know how you can tell me that this is okay, but then say Orange Man bad. I Words versus actions. Don couldn't shut his stupid mouth. Could not shut his stupid mouth. Very entertaining, you know, but he should have shut up. He'd have been in a much better position if he just shut his freaking mouth. But he wasn't going to do that because he's a narcissistic sociopath. Everyone in office is a narcissistic sociopath of some degree or another. Did you see what Nancy just did? Did you see what Nancy just did? Who does that? Who does that to a child? Who does that to a child? Well, someone who doesn't give a shit about children. Clearly. Prove me wrong. I mean, I hate to even use that one. I don't know who that guy is that does that. You always see that freaking picture and it's always like modified, but whoever that dude is, evidence. Oh, these are news agencies that have backed up every freaking stupid thing that these guys have brought down the pike. And now when everything is going into the freaking shitter and falling apart, they have no choice but to report on what's actually happening. Because a lot of other agencies are like, you know what? You're done, guys. We're done with you. We can't support what you're doing anymore because there's all these other internet sites, there's all these other news sources outside of mainstream media that are reporting on these things. So they have no choice but to get involved in it. You know, you can ignore it if you want to. That's always your option. You know, there's a lot of things in life you can ignore if you want. It won't change them from being true. You will just not be aware of what is going on around you. And this is what is going on around us. To be honest with you, I haven't said a whole lot about the president because, one, I have a lot of respect for the office, and it almost makes me cry because I feel sorry for him as a person because he has spent his entire life in politics reaching for that office, and now that he's there, he's not even there. And I believe that his family and his party is pushed him to that position and kept him in that position because the party knew that they could pull the strings while he was in office, but this is how he's going to be remembered. And as a man who many times spoke about how important his legacy was to him, while throughout the Democratic nomination process that was brought up more than once, the idea of him leaving his legacy, to see this being the way that he's going to go out. Someone who needs a cue card to know to go to sit in your chair or to get up and to say thank you and to leave the room. I don't know. I I just feel sorry. I guess I just feel sorry for him. I don't know. I feel more sorry for our country, but something the rest of the world, the rest of the world is they're not going to sit back and allow the leader of the most powerful country in the world to be mentally deficient. They're going to try to step in. They're going to try to step in. The UN is going to try to do something. If you guys don't think they will, you've not been paying attention. Okay? They don't allow unstable governments, especially the largest superpower on the planet. They're not going to allow our government to be destabilized. And the UN they have got a lot of power. We've given them an unbelievable amount of power, and more is trying to be handed off to these other organizations. I don't know. It's a scary thing. It's a scary thing. So, all right, folks. So if you ever have a question, comment, feel free to leave it. If you're watching live in the chat, down below the comments on the rebroadcast. Sorry. I'm out of time. I was trying to kill it before 20. I just blew past it. If this is content that you enjoy, please like, share, and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. And the question that I have been leaving with everyone for this last little bit, this might change lately, but this is the thought that's been on my mind. What are you willing to stand up for? A lot of these videos, it's the point of it is that there are things that are changing that are not changing for the better. And there are many things that are being hoisted upon populations around the world that they did not sign up for. And so sometimes you have to decide if you're willing to pick a fight, if you're willing to stand up for something, not pick a fight, never pick a fight. If you're willing to fight for what you believe and for what you believe in. And you have to be willing to stand up for something, or you will definitely fall for anything. So, all right, love you guys. And I will see you guys, I'm going to say, no later than next Monday, but I'll see you next time for sure. How's that? All right, guys. Thanks for stopping in. Love you very much.